asking and you will find. Keep on knocking, the door will be open. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, God listens. When you pray, God listens. Everyone who seeks shall find, and the door will be open. This is the secret to peace of mind. God knows before you ask all the questions in your mind, all the answers you will find. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, everyone who seeks shall find, and the door will be open every time. This is the secret to peace of mind. God knows all the questions in your mind, all the answers you will find. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, God hears you. Yeah. When you pray, God loves you. When you pray, God listens. When you pray, God listens. When you pray, God's with you. When you pray, God is you. When you pray, God is you. When you pray, God is you. When we pray, God is us. When we pray, God is us.
Thank you, Stephan. I love that last time. When we pray, God is us. So this morning, I'm talking about prayer. Prayer is kind of one of my favorite things to do. Prayer, breathing, prayer, drinking water, prayer, walking. Yeah, prayer. I dig it. I dig it. Who here is a fan of prayer? Who here is a fan of prayer? People are like, oh no, what if I don't say yes? Oh no. Sorry, it's not to pressure you for anything, but I missed you last week. I was on a cruise. I know. I just got back yesterday. Poor me. It was amazing. It was a cruise to Alaska. Yeah. How many here have been on that cruise to Alaska? Wow. Yeah. I encourage any of you to go. All of you should do that at least once in your life. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. And we went on this whale watching tour where the naturalist was, she was a huge, devoted, obsessed geek, she called herself, of whale watching, of humpback whale watching specifically. She knew the names of every single one that we saw. And she said this really amazing fact that I'd never heard before. She said one of the most miraculous things about humpback whales is that all the males have a song. It's their mating song, but it's the same song throughout all of the world. All the humpback whales, all the males have the same song. At the beginning of the season, they all start with the same song. And the song evolves through the season, and as soon as one note changes somewhere, all of them are singing the same changed song everywhere. And they don't know how. And then the next season, they have a brand new song. Isn't that amazing? I think that maybe there's some magical God stuff that's going on that's much deeper than I can even fathom. And I think that maybe we're connected at a level that we don't even understand. It's so beautiful. I think about that a lot. My mom and I have this connection too. We wear clothes all the time at the same time. Now she lives in New Mexico, but I'll Zoom with her because I love to Zoom and talk to her. And I'll be like, hey Mom, glad we dressed the same today, you know. But I really appreciate that there's something deeper than my little human brain can grok. And it's the majesty of the divine. It's the majesty of the divine. And when I'm talking about the divine, when I grew up, the divine was called God, and the word I associated with God, or the image I associated with God, was the big Santa Claus man who was said, you're naughty or nice, and then you got cursed to hell if you were naughty, and went to heaven if you were nice. And then I come into this teaching, and I had to reframe my idea of God, because I realized that if God is love, there can never be judgment. And then there can never be forgiveness either, because God never judged you to forgive you. Forgiveness is a human thing. Yeah. And when I am connected to the divine, when I am connected to that permeating love, then everything I see is love. And I used to pray, but it was kind of a beseeching, like, oh my God, can you please change this? Or, oh my God, I hate this person, can you please change them? Or, oh my God, I want to have something different. And now I've learned how to do a new idea, a new way of praying, which I just have to say is working pretty well for me. Just gotta say. And it's affirmative prayer. We teach that here. We teach affirmative prayer, which is spiritual mind treatment. And we call it spiritual mind treatment because when in our homes, way back in the day when he was talking about this, people had a context for prayer that they couldn't get out of. And then they had a context for doctors and cures and healing that he tried to integrate those two concepts. He said, when you get a treatment from a doctor, then you have a healing. Well, when you do a spiritual mind treatment, you're aligning yourself with Dr. God, and you have a healing, right? So each and every one of us have this ability to connect with that infinite everything. And it's bigger than any of us can imagine. Last time I was here, well, not here, but over there, I spoke, and it was the 1-year anniversary to the Unite the Right rally that they had in Charlottesville. And so it was on that Sunday, literally the 1-year anniversary, and they were going to have a Unite the Right rally 2 in Washington, D.C. And I asked the entire community, I said, what do you wish? If we could make an impact, what do you wish? And the answer came, love, connection, belonging. And we did a group intention on that Sunday for all of the people who were in that rally to feel love, connection, and belonging. And the next day I looked in the newspapers, and only 24 people showed up for the Unite the Right Rally 2, and thousands of people showed up to counter that rally in love and appreciation and in joy. And I'm just going to say that this community had something to do with that. So, yeah, if that's not answered prayer, I know that prayer, often, I used to think I wanted to pray to change you. I want to pray to change this outside. And I've learned that prayer is to change me. The prayer that changes things changes me. And whenever I change, then the outside circumstances change. It shifts outside when I shift internally. I know whenever Kathy Ann, 2 weeks ago, she was doing the mountain pose, she was like teaching about that mountain pose, and I was imagining being the mountain, and I was connecting to that, and she was saying, oh, imagine the animals walking around, and I was imagining thunderstorms and lightning storms and just raining down on me, and yet I was unmoved when I was imagining being a mountain. And I thought, that's how I feel when I'm really connected in prayer, is I feel unmoved with the outside circumstances that are swirling around me. And I feel deeply connected with the internal me that is the God self that I'm connected to. I recognize that I have the ability to have that feeling all the time, and sometimes I forget to use it. Sometimes. But when I do use it, it changes my life. It shifts me. Now, when I was on this cruise, they had these, we had a comedian that kind of brought to light that people have different cruise color cards according to how many times you cruised. And I had a gold card. It was my second cruise I've ever been on. I was on Princess, by the way. So my second cruise, so I was in the gold captain circle. And I got the extra benefit of being invited to the captain circle reception, which I was like, oh, I'm special. I get invited to the captain circle reception. Well, turns out there's a black card. So after 16 cruises, you can get a black cruise card. Now, there's a few advantages to the black cruise card that I didn't have. They had free alcohol, free laundry service. They had a special exit and entrance away from the crowds. Who knew? Like, I didn't know there was like a little secret like place where they just kind of exit around those people and they just take them in. And then whenever you're leaving the cruise ship, everybody leaves in waves, and you're assigned to which wave you're going to leave in. And well, they have a special area that they get to sit in, and they get to choose which wave they're going to leave in, if they want to stay longer or leave earlier. And I was thinking about these cruise cards, and I was thinking about prayer. And I kind of feel like the more I pray, the more benefits I get. And it's not like God's going, hey, you've been praying a lot, so I'm going to give you more benefits. It's not like that. It's like, as I recognize and I align myself with my truth, I start feeling and seeing what's actually happening. And what's actually happening in the world is beautiful, and miracles, miraculous, happening every day. And my prayers are in alignment with that knowingness that miracles happen every day. So I practice the 5 steps of the affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. And if you don't know what they are, they're really simple. It's easy. The first step, you describe God. And describe the God that you really would love God to be, not the God that you're afraid of. The God that is that infinite, powerful, almighty, all-knowing, all-loving, everything. And just describe the beauty and the magnificence of what that incredible expression is. That's step 1. Describe God. God is. And the second step is uniting yourself with God. I am united. I know if God is all loving and almighty, and Ernest Holmes said here, Spirit is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, and prayer is a realization of humanity's unity with that truth. So when I am recognizing omniscience, omnipotent, omnipresent, if God or spirit or whatever you want to call it love or the quantum field, omnipotent, omnipresent, and it is love. It is here in me. I am it. I'm it. And I see and feel that unity with the Spirit. And once I see and feel that unity of spirit, it's my opportunity to declare the truth of my being, as if it's already happened. That's what they call faith, Faith is feel as if the thing has happened. F-A-I-T-H. Feel as if the thing has happened. That's what they call faith. So I go into that space, the third place where they call declaration a realization stage, and I realize my truth. Now, my truth is that miracles happen to me every day. Miracles happen to me every day. You can make up your own truth that you want to have happen, and then you just speak it as though if it were happening right now. Not only do miracles happen every day, but I am here to be the revealer of divine love on this planet. I am here to be a place where abundance shows up. I am here to be a place where joy shows up. I attract to me situations and circumstances that are joyful, fun, fabulous, and free. Who wants that? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah. Take one over here, take one over there, all right? Yeah, easy as that. I attract those situations. And as I declare my truth, I am aligning myself with it. I feel it. I feel that truth. And when I'm in that space of feeling that truth, I'm in the space of gratitude. And that's the fourth step, is being in gratitude. Being in that space of shifting into, it feels so good to have miracles every day. It feels so good to continually attract fun circumstances. It feels so good. I'm so grateful to be in that space. And then I just release my prayer. And that's the fifth step. It's as easy as that. Now, how many people in this room garden? Few gardeners? Few gardeners? Now, when you plant a seed, do you dig it up? No. You let it go. You let the universe take care, the earth take care of what it does best, which it knows how to grow that into being. And how many people just plant one seed? Let's say you're planting a flower bed. You plant one flower, or do you plant several flowers? Right? I want to have a bounty of flowers. I want to see that beauty. Are you doing that same thing with prayer? Are you planting those seeds, knowing that the universe is growing those things constantly, easily, and effortlessly? Well, if you are, then you're seeing the fruit of that. I got to see the fruit of that on my cruise. Every single day, all of the naturalists and the tour guides, they were like, you don't understand, Alaska is not this beautiful all the time. Like, it's so crazy. I've just never seen this. There was only 5 days of sunshine last year. And every single day, we were just gorgeous. I've never seen from the tram up here. I've never seen this down here. Like, you could see the whole mountainside. It's amazing. I know. It's my life. That's how it goes. I love it. It's great. And then we went to this play, and we saw this beautiful, amazing dancers and singers, and we're retiring in our room. It's 11 o'clock at night, and something inside of me said, look outside. And I look outside, and we're in the blackness of night, and our ship is sailing, and across the sky is this green stripe. And then it starts moving, and it changes to pink and white, and it's vibrant. And I'm like, and there's like 3 other people outside on their balconies on this cruise ship of 3,600 people. And we're just going, oh. My life is filled with miracles. It was happening for everybody. It happened for everybody. But I was called to be in the right place at the right time. It's like every night they put little chocolates on our bed, which I loved. And if I put the do not disturb on my door all evening long, I wouldn't get any chocolates. Wasn't that kind of how it is with the universe, with God? You know, I'm like, don't disturb me, God. I'm too busy being mad, being angry, being upset. Don't bother me. God's like, well, I got the chocolates for you, but okay. I got some Northern Lights, but, go to sleep, whatever. Ever available all the time. But it's how we choose to be in it. I know when I've had successful prayer, when I'm shifted by the end of it. I could look out into the world, I could watch the news, and the news is really harsh. It's really harsh right now. There is some bitter, angry, everybody thinks they're right types of people going, and then everybody's watching and going, yeah, that person's right and that person's wrong. And I want to be a space of love. Can I be the person who looks at that and sees the beauty in it? Can I be the person who looks at that and sees love? That's where the real work is. The work isn't out there with those people. The work is in here. Can I see love, and then can I be the love? And that's where prayer shifts each and every one of us. Viktor Frankl was an amazing man. He was in the Nazi concentration camps. And when he went into the Nazi concentration camps, he knew that he wanted to live. He knew he wanted to live no matter what. And he asked himself, which would be the big S self, he asked himself, I'm sure you've done this, what do I need to do to live? What do I need to do to live? And the answer came that he needed to see beauty everywhere. So he was there one day, and people were dying all around him. They were starving to death. And he had this bowl of soup with a dead fish head in it. And he looked at that bowl of soup, and he thought it was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. He was so grateful to be honored to have this because other people had nothing. And he was so grateful to see the beauty of that he was compelled to cry. He had nothing, and he saw beauty in nothing. What am I doing? How am I being? Am I being resentful and angry towards the world because I think it doesn't look the way that I want it to? Can I see beauty in the way that Viktor Frankl saw beauty? He saw beauty, and he came out of those Nazi concentration camps as a man filled with love and appreciation and forgiveness. And I think that if he could do that, I could do that too. If he can do that in those extreme circumstances, perhaps the circumstances of my life are not as bad as I portray them to be, because I can find love within me. I can find beauty within me, and the way that I can do that is through prayer. The infinite everything, the great creator that created all that is, did a solar flare coming off the sun, and that hit that magnetic pole of the earth right whenever the sun was on the other side of the planet, so I could see the stunning gorgeousness of it. Now, if the infinite everything can do that, do you think it maybe could create win-wins in your world? Do you think maybe it could produce a life of love and joy and happiness? Yes. Do you think maybe it could have a bigger and better idea than you could even fathom that makes your life better than you could think? Yes. Would you be open to accepting that for your life today? Yes. All right, me too. And if you could accept that not only for your life, what would you want for our country? The same, yeah. And have you been praying? Have you been putting in, as my mentor would say, my spiritual coin? It's like a bank account. I put my spiritual coin in the bank account, and the spiritual coin appreciates, because that's what it does. Appreciation, it expands in the world. And I plant that spiritual coin over and over and over, and it grows and grows, and then soon I'm on a cruise and I see the northern lights, and I'm on a whale watching trip, and the water is completely flat, and there's whales everywhere. because my spiritual coin continues to give to me over and over and over again, and I continue to be in the right and perfect place. And it shifts me into that place of being the love of the universe. And even when there are rocky roads or cloudy days, even when those things are happening, I get to be the space where love shows up. I get to be that place. I get to be that mountain where all this chaos and everything is happening around me, and I can be that space of love. And I can see through all of that chaos into the beauty of what is truly going on. Even in the chaos, there is beauty. And the chaos always leads to creation. Did you know that? Chaos always leads to creation. Anybody studied chaos theory? That's part of chaos theory. It's like everything breaks down, falls apart, and then it's the nutrients, it's the soil for the newness to come into being, to come into fruition. So what's going on in this planet, or what's going on in this country, or what's going on maybe in your family or in your community, whatever it is, if it's chaotic, that means it is ripe soil for the newness. And who wants to plant those seeds? I do. Yeah. So let's plant some seeds today. What kind of seeds are we planting? Love. I love it. Huh? Prosperity. What? Health. Inclusion. Healing. Abundance. Miracles every day. Appreciation. Yes. A new That happens all the time, every couple of years, no matter what. Change is always happening. So each and every one of us has the opportunity to hold the highest and best. And the question you want to ask yourself is, will my prayer harm no one and benefit everyone? That's when you know you're in alignment. Will my prayer harm no one and benefit everyone? And I know that it does make a difference. Brené Brown talks about being in a spiritual crisis right now. And she talks about how the key to building true belonging with each other is maintaining our belief in the inextricable human condition. And she says the inextricable human condition is a connection. It's a spirit that flows between each and every human being on this planet, and that every other human in the world. And it's something that cannot be broken. It's something that is greater than us, and it's rooted in love and compassion. Now, I think that Brené Brown was talking about the great creator, what I would call God, what others would call the quantum field, what I would call love or life. And I know that each and every one of us is connected to that great creation. So I want you to be in the space as I go into prayer today of imagining that deep and abiding love, imagining that miracles are happening to everyone, imagining that the change that's going on, that the chaos that's happening is planting seeds for the benefit of everybody. Will you join me in that prayer?
Yes.
All right, let's pray then. I'm so grateful to be in the space of the fertile soil. I recognize and know that the infinite, the great creator, that God is the one thing that is constant, that it is everywhere present. And so I tune myself to it. I tune myself to love. I tune myself to revelation. I tune myself to inspiration. I tune myself to that truth. Recognizing and knowing that love permeates all things, all beings, and that when I am that love, nothing can stop me from being loving. And so I recognize and know that something is shifted today, that a new revelation is happening in me, that I am poised to be the receiver of goodness in this world. And as I declare this truth for myself, I declare this truth for each and every person in this room, that miracles abound. Miracles are my nature, because miracles are God's nature. And so I see the miracles everywhere I go. I am always in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And as I claim that for myself, I claim that for each and every person here, each and every person who's online, each and every person who comes within 5 feet of us. Whether they're driving or walking, that there is something contagious. It's a contagion of love. I breathe it in and I breathe it out. And people cannot help but see and feel and know this truth within them, that they are awakened, that they are alive, and that they are inspired by this truth. And that when anger comes at me and I respond with love, that it melts away. That when fear comes at me and I respond with kindness, that it melts away. That I am the space where love shows up, that I am the place where a new idea shows up, that I am a place where a new humanity shows up, bigger, better, brighter than I could ever imagine. And so I surrender into this truth. I release this prayer with gratitude. It feels so good to be. Feels so good to be in this love. It's like a warm, fuzzy blanket. And for that I am grateful. I release this prayer knowing that it's already done. The seeds are already planted. I just get to watch the flowers bloom. And so it is.